For decades, there's been this one patch of the Atlantic Ocean that has just completely captured our darkest imaginations. It's a place where the laws of physics, they just seem to bend, where compasses spin like crazy, and where entire ships and planes are said to just vanish. So let's dive deep into one of the world's most persistent and, honestly, chilling mysteries, the Bermuda Triangle. I mean, that's the ultimate question, isn't it? One minute, you've got a ship, a plane, talking to the shore, everything's totally normal. And the next, just silence. Complete and utter silence. So where do they go? What kind of force could possibly be at work in these waters? That's exactly what we're here to figure out. Okay, first things first, where exactly are we talking about? If you look at the map here, the Bermuda Triangle, sometimes called the Devil's Triangle, is this big, kind of loosely defined area in the western part of the North Atlantic. The three corners are generally accepted to be Bermuda, Miami, and Puerto Rico. And let me tell you, that covers a vast and pretty treacherous piece of the ocean. To really understand the triangle, we have to start with the stories. The tales that turn this stretch of sea from just another shipping lane into an absolute legend. These are the accounts that have been fueling both fear and fascination for generations. So here's the textbook definition. But the key words, the ones that really matter, are mysterious circumstances. See, it's not just that vessels go missing. It's the total lack of wreckage, those bizarre final messages, and the complete absence of any logical explanation that really creates this enduring puzzle.
All right, let's get into the most famous case of all. This is the one that truly cemented the Bermuda Triangle in our minds. This isn't just a story, it's a chilling, real-life event that involved 5 U.S. Navy bombers. This is the story of Flight 19.
What's so terrifying about this timeline is just how fast a routine training mission turned into this desperate fight for survival. At 2:10 in the afternoon on December 5th, 1945, everything is perfectly normal. But just over an hour later, the lead pilot radios in that both of his compasses are out. Soon after that, you can hear the panic setting in. The pilots are totally disoriented, their voices are just crackling over the radio, they're lost. And by 7:04 p.m., nothing. They were gone. And get this, a rescue plane sent out to find them, it also disappeared that very same night. And this is the supposed final message that paints such a terrifying picture. Now, whether these were the exact words or not, they capture the terrifying heart of the event. You have experienced pilots, completely lost in what should be familiar territory, seen something so strange they couldn't even describe it, right before they vanished forever. This right here is the core of the Bermuda Triangle mystery. The thing is, the strange events of Flight 19 aren't unique. Not at all. In fact, so many of the disappearances in the triangle are linked by this series of bizarre, recurring phenomena. So let's take a look at the clues that have led so many people to believe that something paranormal is at work in these waters.
People who have survived incidents in the triangle and the final, desperate messages from those who weren't so lucky, they often report this strange collection of things. There are these wild tales of an electronic fog, this greenish-gray cloud that just seems to wrap itself around aircraft, making instruments go haywire. Pilots talk about compasses spinning uselessly, storms appearing out of clear blue skies, strange lights under the water, and even this really eerie phenomenon of lost time, where pilots land and find out their watches and clocks are hours behind. But for every supernatural clue, science has a potential answer. Okay, so let's shift gears and see how researchers and experts try to explain all these strange happenings. This is where the legend meets a much, much colder reality. Right, let's tackle those spinning compasses first. The legend points to some mysterious force, right? But science gives us a much more grounded explanation. The Bermuda Triangle is one of only 2 places on the entire planet where true north and magnetic north actually line up. Now, if a pilot or a captain isn't aware of this and doesn't adjust for it, they could be thrown off course by several degrees, sending them way off course deep into the empty Atlantic. So what about those insane storms that seem to pop up out of nowhere? Well, the answer lies in the incredible power of nature itself. The triangle sits right on top of the Gulf Stream, which is basically a massive river of warm water flowing through the ocean. When all that warm, moist air collides with colder air, it can create incredibly volatile weather with lightning speed. We're talking pop-up thunderstorms and massive waterspouts that could easily swallow a small ship or plane. Okay, now this is one of the most fascinating scientific theories out there. The seafloor in this area is packed with something called methane hydrates, basically frozen gas.
If a pocket of this stuff were to erupt, it would release a massive bubble of methane gas. For just a moment, the water right above it would become this chaotic froth, and its density would drop so much that it couldn't support the weight of a ship. The bottom line? A ship caught in that exact spot would lose all buoyancy and just sink like a stone. No time for a distress call and almost no trace left behind.
So, we've looked at the chilling legends and the really compelling scientific explanations. We've explored the stories, and we've looked at the data. Now it all comes down to a final verdict.
On the one hand, you have the legend view. This is a place unlike any other on Earth, a vortex of paranormal or maybe even extraterrestrial activity. But on the other hand, you have the reality view. It's simply a very heavily trafficked part of the ocean with extreme weather and some unique geological dangers. People who hold this viewpoint point out that the U.S. Coast Guard doesn't even officially recognize the Bermuda Triangle, and that a lot of these so-called mysteries were just sensationalized by writers, while the real cause was often tragic but explainable human error.
And that's really where we have to leave it. After weighing all the evidence, from lost pilots to bubbles of methane gas, what conclusion do you come to? Is there some powerful, unexplained force at work in the Devil's Triangle? Or is the greatest mystery of all just our own fascination with the unknown?
If you enjoyed trying to unravel this mystery with me, please be sure to subscribe to the YouTube and Lisa Ortical Darsler's channel. We do a lot more deep dives into the world's most fascinating topics. Thanks so much for watching.